player who's down one after that mech failure. I wouldn't say mech failure, just mech not working out for him in the first game. Is our Blue Terran player, KeeN. And to the bottom right hand side, our Red Zerg player, give it up. You're going to be cheering on ByuL. Again, as we got a couple of moments of calmness right now, thank you very much, Cautions and 47 Nets who did sub during the last game. What a game you guys decided to sub during. Like, thank you so much for the sub. What a game you decided to sub during. What a long one. If you're enjoying the stream, you guys, do not forget that follow button is up above the stream if you're watching on Twitch, where you can click and then see when we go live again in the future. I will not be here for the next 4 days because I'm going to be at Epicland in the UK at a tournament. I'll be back on Monday as we will then commence with the WardiTV weekly Season 1 Finals, Group A. We'll be announcing on Twitter, social media and everywhere else all the players who will be playing in that over the next few days. We'll be getting that set up and ready to go. So keep your eyes on social media, the Team Liquid thread and all the rest if you want to know who's playing, when they're playing, and all of that. So, all of that said, I guess one more thing just quickly is, obviously, if you're really enjoying the show, you can, of course, subscribe and donate. Both great ways to support the channel, support the events, and that we run, and all the rest of it as well. So, if you do enjoy, please do feel free to support. And it's always greatly appreciated. So we set up into this second game now, and it is once again a factory-based opening from KeeN. He's once again going to open with the Hellions. It is New Kirk Precinct. We are potentially going to have a similar setup to what we just saw in game number 1 if we have mech-based play. It's a map that can definitely go split map. It can definitely become a much longer sort of... you can definitely go into much longer kind of play styles here. And this one, as we see a few Zerglings from ByuL, just going to move in towards the top side, just scanning around, see if there's anything around that you might want to clean up. Doesn't find anything for now. He just waits for Link Speed and as Pneumatized Carapace to come on in. For now, KeeN actually opening with pretty much the exact same build as the... Yeah, I guess... I guess he's just going to go into the exact same build. We'll see if he starts to cloak Banshee this time. Or if it is, okay, it is going to be cloaked this time around. I mean, there's still the possibility with Hellbat Banshee, or Hellion Banshee, there's still that possibility to switch into. He's just going to start Liberator, wow. But there's that possibility to change into ByuL. You know, this doesn't have to be mech just because it was in the last game. So this is definitely something that can still change up. As we see ByuL scouts in, we'll see the cloak. So he will build some Spore Crawlers against this. Starts up his Ro.4 fairly early once again as well. Making sure he's going to be able to build that as early as he needs to. As we have the couple of Hellions in the Reaper just attacking this third hatch for now. Link Speed's finished up. He's got a few Lings and he will use those now. Go and hunt down the Hellions in the Reaper. Shut those down and, ooh, I like it. Going to split them up. And going to come in from a bit of a different angle, I guess, to try and catch those units a bit off guard. We'll push them towards the Queens, which are going to go in another direction. And KeeN not quite paying attention. So the first Hellions, ooh, they do start to slip away, but they go up to the top side, which is a bit different. Maybe not what we were expecting. Either way, he'll pick up the kills. And that last Hellion still can't outrun the Zerglings. It goes down as well. So the Zerglings get rid of the Hellions here. There is an army on the way, so it's definitely going to be Hellbats. Again, I mean, the longer this goes on, the more it looks as though it will be mech once again, but there's still that possibility that after a Hellbat attack, you just switch into Bio, so keeping an open mind until the third and fourth gas comes down or something a little bit more solid in terms of just confirmation as to what this is going to be. Third CC as well. I mean, you still got to think, though, it is very similar to the last game. Liberator currently moving in position, doesn't get anything done before it gets pushed away by the two Queens and the Spore Crawler. And we're going to see the Nidus Network coming down in the natural expansion of ByuL as well. So, set up down towards the natural expansion with this, and we just see the +1 vehicle weapons from KeeN on the way up. We're going to be seeing the Hellions continue to come on in. And the Banshee is about 75% of the way done. A few more roaches popping out here shortly too, and yes, the Nidus very early on just going to be a very aggressive attack out of ByuL to kind of counter against these Hellbats. There is a Banshee on the way, right? So Banshee on the way, but there's one Banshee out. Okay, that is the Banshee. I mean, just a Banshee is not necessarily going to be enough if there's going to be... I mean, there's a lair, obviously, because there's a Nidus. Why does he pop it down, this Nidus Network? You see Hellbat's currently being chased away still by these roaches. Ling's looking as though they might try and intercept as well, but Lings have to be careful if they try and fight into this. You have to be very, very careful to try and fight into this, as we do see... that's okay. 2 Hellbats is manageable for Zerglings. Anything more than 2 becomes, like, suicidal, you know? You're just going to see yours disappearing so quickly. Nidus coming up in the main, and maybe just a little bit too overzealous with this one, as we're going to see nothing getting out of it realistically to help here. And the Queens will start fighting against this Banshee, and just gets it low, but doesn't really make any progress. I mean, KeeN is just finding these Nidus networks all over the place, and if ByuL doesn't do something with these Niduses, he's going to fall into a pretty tough spot. Would have been bad just to build a Nidus outside of the base and to attack on in like that? Well, potentially. This time he will start to get units out here as the Queens transfuse the Nidus up a couple of times. You're going to see the Roaches, a lot more of them coming out right here. Queens have gone down though. Without the Queens, you just don't have anything to deal with the Banshees, and the Banshees will just end up cleaning up in general. And there's going to be seeing these Roaches continuing to go down. I mean, 10 workers killed. Still more Lings and Roaches building though, but it just feels as though with another Banshee on the way up. I mean, the Banshee count just keeps increasing, just gets harder and harder to realistically do damage here. When the first Nidus goes down, you lose a couple of Queens as well, especially. It just means you've lost a bit too much already. And again, maybe dropping down at the front may have been a bit of a better option rather than the main base where there was units in position in the end. And you can see it now, like more Roaches coming out again. Actually, a couple more Queens, so maybe there's still a possibility here from ByuL as he does force these units to CCs to lift up on the lower ground. I guess I wasn't expecting 3 more Queens to come out, but there is 3 hatches at home, so I guess it makes sense. Okay, well actually maybe this isn't so bad for ByuL here. He just needs to keep the Queens alive though still. It's going to be a very important part of this as Banshees will continue to fight. He will lose one of them though. Actually never got cloaks. This, you know, they can't cloak up just to take advantage of the fact that the Overseer is in the main base still. And all these Deepers going down the low ground, so here's me being like, well, ByuL, he's kind of dead, he hasn't done enough, and then this next Nidus pops out 3 Queens and suddenly it's going brilliantly once again. He starts to fight in towards these few Cyclones now. Siege Tank on the high ground as well helping out as he's just going to start streaming units up this ramp. And has he got enough here? Well, the Deeper will raise, but obviously the Siege Tank is in position where it can be attacked anyways. And I think continuing up this ramp may not work out for him as we do now see the Lings and Roach in towards the middle line of the main. And we'll continue to push on forwards here. ByuL still just cleaning up whatever he can. A few more workers dropping. Currently sat at 31 SCVs to the 47 drones. And there is a Spire follow-up. I mean, the Spire can be deadly at this point if you slowed the Terran player down enough. What are the chances that he's realistically going to start building anti-air? Well, very little. He's going to continue to focus on kind of recovering in the game. As the CC can come down to the low ground once again. And, yeah, I mean, he's going to be able to double expand, essentially. He does have the free CC, so actually he can come back in the game in terms of worker count. I just feel as though with the Mutalisks, you know, on the way up, he's going to be able to just do damage, which is just going to end the game, because Banshee's going to get shut down, he's going to kill it. I mean, there's no anti-air here. Unless he builds a 4 out of this factory right now, he's in a lot of trouble. And if he starts building Vikings too, I don't even think 1-4 would necessarily be enough. No engineering. Okay, he starts an engineering base. He has got some potential anti-air. We're just moving across through the center of the map here, and we are going to see feelings in the back as well. You got to remember that, you know, ByuL, he had to do a lot of damage with this. Because if he didn't do a lot of damage, he would have ended up in this position where he was on very low tech. And even now, he is very low on the tech. As we see those Zerglings starting to work their way through the rocks on this top side. A few Roaches coming forwards. I mean, there's the Banshees, though, and that's where the Mutas will really kind of prevail, I guess. He's going to be able to build a few of them. Maybe build 6 or 7, I guess. And, same time, Hydrodent does finish. There's the 7 Mutalisks coming down. But there's 4s on the way, so I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. I mean, you can still harass a little bit. 2 4s can't be everywhere. But it is a good start to having something up, at least, against the Mutalisks, rather than nothing at all. Roach's Lings gathering to the right-hand side. 2 Banshees coming up towards the top. And they're going to be keeping on moving through to see where else they can go. I guess they'll try and attack in towards this 4th base in the next couple of moments, or 3rd base in the next couple of moments. Again, just look for little bits and pieces of damage wherever possible. The Mutas start to go across the map. There's a 4 in the main, a 4 in the natural as well, I guess. They'll 4 at the 3rd, 4 at the 3rd. Natural expansion's pretty open then, but I guess if you can't get into the natural, then that's not really a concern of the Terran player. And, well, how do the Mutas get towards the natural expansion? I guess they kind of don't. Viking and a 4 in this main base, and ByuL just turns away instantly with the Mutas. They are not successful in doing anything so far. Comes towards the 3rd base instead, and, well, there's another 4. There's going to be another little bit of splash damage. Still doesn't lose a Mutalisk, but they do get very, very low, and you have to be very cautious of that. As we are setting up into mech once again. We're going to this kind of longer game, and I think we're kind of stabilizing on both sides to allow us to go into this longer game from a bit of a, you know, from a nice even position. And see the Overseer up to the top with these Mutalisks going to be sat around looking to see what's up and what's happening. Looking to see what they can get up to over the next few moments. We see the Lings and the Roaches moving around a little bit. Going to start running in towards the 3rd base, and Obviously, a couple of tanks here are going to be able to turn those Zerglings away, no problem. I'm going to be seeing a couple more factories building on up. 5 facts in total, and 5 factories total. Going to see a couple more Ravagers on the way down as well. It's kind of, I guess it's going to just go kind of for a long one again. I mean, 5's on the way up, getting ready for the Vipers. A couple of Ravagers brought into play. We didn't see Ravagers last game. He used just a couple of them here. I think he just wants to harass onto this refinery. Obviously, if you can kill gas geysers or refineries, slows down the gas, slows down the amount of mech that can be made. And that's generally a pretty good positive for a Zerg player going up against mech. I like the introduction of a couple of Ravagers. Not going crazy on them, doesn't really need to. Although, that said, maybe a lot of Ravagers could be a good way to deal with the heavy tank play. Possibility. A few Roaches, a couple of Ravagers are still sat here down to the south side, and again, these few Hellions from KeeN moving around as well, see what they can do. Hydra coming forward, fires a shot onto a Hellion, and we're going to be seeing the Mutas coming in to intercept those as well. So the Mutas, this time the Mutas are a little bit more alive. At the end of the last game, he made the Mutas, and they did nothing, it felt like. As we see the scan into the main, KeeN's going to see the Hive. He won't be too happy about that. He's actually going to start pushing forwards, I think, as he sees it. So starts pushing forwards across the map. Obviously feels as though maybe now is the best chance, go as soon as possible before Vipers are up or something. Well, I guess that kind of has to be his plan right here. A couple of Corrosive Bars will get a tank low, won't finish it. There's only 2 Ravagers, not the 3 he needs. At the same time, he's going to come in on the other side. They pick off a siege tank, and well, still no turrets set up in a couple of these bases or to cover the entire mineral line. So Mias, even though there's only a few of them, will get some pretty decent damage done. Roaches and Hydras in the center are going to be trying to delay as well, and I guess that's what this is all about right now for ByuL. Delay this as long as possible, get his Vipers out, and just play from there, The more the Terran player is running around the map chasing Mutalisks, the less time he's across the map killing his opponent with the mech army. So ByuL coming around the top now with some Roach Hydra as well. Coming around, can he get into a good position with this? Can he do something interesting with it? Potentially. You can see these units down to the south are picking off a few of the Ravagers here still. And here you go, Roaches and Hydras still pushing on through. He's just going to go into the natural expansion. He's going to start taking some interesting trades. Actually pulls the Hydras back, only sends the majority of Roaches towards the natural. Wants to keep the Hydras alive apparently, as we do see some Vikings going across here. Yes, they can land and do some damage, but it's a bit of a weird choice. Sending the Vikings over to the other side of the map. That's definitely not your usual kind of way of dealing with this sort of situation, I guess. I guess maybe they're just looking around for the Mutalisk. They are over here to the left-hand side. Hydras on the way over. More Roaches too. Where are the Vipers? They are out, and there they are, 2 of them continuing to come on in. And still just a couple more SCVs getting taken down again. ByuL in the last game looked to be in control for the majority of the game. In this game too, he really looks as though he knows what he's doing all the way throughout so far. And as we see, the Roaches, Hydras going to start joining up in the center of the map. Vipers still overhead as well. They're going to be one of the main things to use against this. I mean, the compositions are pretty decent on either side. Let's see what these Vipers can do. Blinding Clouds, I think, is going to be the choice. Forces the tanks to unsiege and pull back just slightly. And now this Roach Hydra continues to push on through. A couple of the tanks going down. I'm going to be seeing ByuL backing away. We'll need some more energy on these Vipers, or even new Vipers, because he did lose a couple. This was nice. I mean, the Blinding Clouds were well placed to kind of, again, allow him to attack on in without too many tanks firing at the same time. Just makes a bit of a better fight for him, as we see Roach's Hydras position themselves in the center. The Vikings will push on over to the right-hand side as well, and keeping the Viking count high is always going to be beneficial. As we see a big counterattack. That's a lot of Roach Hydra to the left-hand side. That's a dead CC, like 100%. That's a dead CC if he goes to the third base. I mean, he can't even lift up because there's Hydras there. So Hydras can push in towards this. And he's also going to the natural for a few workers as well. There's tanks on the high ground that can siege up. The Hydras can just come in towards this side if he wants to. And he's going to take a couple shots already, as ByuL, giving up his 4th base, will just take the 4th base to the top right side instead. And CC not going to go down because he didn't focus on the 3rd base soon enough to really take advantage of how low health that was. He's killed 20 workers though. I mean, keeping the economy of the mech in player low, and still just building up a good army at home, trading out effectively, and just waiting to make sure he has more than enough before he takes the fight. And if he doesn't need to take a fight, he's not taking one, which is kind of the situation right now. He's saying no need for him to attack on in, because this army looks pretty stable already. Left-hand side, some Roaches and Hydras are going to turn around, picking off a Cyclone. Coming forwards here, going to get rid of a Hellbat, a second Hellbat too. Continue to push this away right now. Vikings still up in the skies from KeeN, and there's a couple of there's Blinding Clouds going to start coming down. These Vipers are just going to kind of, well, just go for the blind clouds, and that's going to be about it. He's going to force enough tanks to unsiege so he can justify pushing on in. And KeeN's army is going to disappear. ByuL is going to look to pick up a 2-0 here and qualify himself for the WardiTV Weekly Season 1 Finals. That's now really what is left for KeeN. Not too much. A few tanks. That's about it. That is about it. So, let's see a few of these Hellions continue to back away here. Tanks still firing. A few of these Roaches and Hydras going down very quickly. Very, very quickly. A few meters on the way up as well. I guess he's just killed. I mean, is it really worth... I mean, it's not really a remax of meters, like 3 meters. He's on 10 already. I guess it's a few meters. It's not a super scary number. There's a 4 on the map. And there's Vikings out as well. He will just come in. He will fight this 4, even though the Vikings are nearby as well. And CVs will pull on in. Is that enough to kill off this, to kill the meters and keep the 4 alive? I think it is. We'll go for the Vikings now instead. This wasn't really the best meter play. Now the ByuL definitely wasn't as effective as I think he was hoping for it to be. You can see this planetary fortress will be repaired on up, but I don't think it'll come down in time, or that there's enough SCVs to repair for how much Roach Hydra is in position. SCVs going down once more, and KeeN still not being allowed to really get past the 40 worker marker in the recent times. Going to move his main base orbital already towards the 4th. He's already doing that as pushing onto the map. KeeN really barely has anything at all here. And as these units pushing in towards the center, more meters still coming up. The +3 weapons coming up as well as these couple of Vikings coming in, and Vikings will get shut down very quickly here. There's 2 Vikings going down, tank sieging up once again, and another Mutalisk in the sky is going to get picked off too. And these drones continue to get taken down. That's going to be GG there. ByuL will take game number 2, and he will qualify himself